Yeah, okay. So we are actually coming close to the end of Pirkei Avos. The last week, now in addition to everything, I'm a little bit, my memory is not as used to be. We did, I think, last, I don't know if we finished the, the 20,
22 and
22,
23.
22, we're talking about Ben Bagbag, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So what did Ben Bagbag say? הפוך בה והפוך בה דכולה בה, ובה תחזה ושיא ופלא בה. ומנה לא תזוע, שתן לך מידה טובה ממנה. This was an encouragement to urge people to learn. הפוך בה means turn and turn about the Torah, because everything is there. Who was I think I mentioned last time, Ben Bagbag and the next Mishnah Ben Hey. Some people say the same person, or maybe they were brothers. Why is it written in Aramaic? Say that they were actually converts. So there is a urge in the Mishnah. They say to occupy yourself with learning, because everything you will find in the Torah, and don't go to any other wisdoms, any other kind of studies, because you can find everything in the Torah, although you can use obviously other disciplines to help you with Torah learning. And I think we read last week a long story about what Rabbi Bunim said. Obviously, we know in the Torah there is a lot of need to do use some mathematics or astronomy, especially when they had to make the calendar. There's a lot of things that you can use your other disciplines, and the Rambam says that they are like serving a purpose to understand more in the Torah and the mitzvot, like as I said, for instance, in the calendar. And the main thing is, אין לך מידה טובה, the learning, study of Torah shapes a personality with good personal qualities. And this is the way how you measure with Torah principles, you to measure what is truth and what is right. אני מצטער, אני בזום. So, how do you measure what is true and right? I think this is really the last point that in the Mishnah I want to say, What the lashon of the Mishnah? אין לך מידה טובה ממנה, for there is no better portion for you than this. Okay, the English translation portion, I don't think this is what the right translation. Here I think midah, a measurement. I think the measurement. If you want to measure what is true, you need to have some kind of aid to be able to say what is true that you can measure and what is moral. So this is what actually a person should have when he look at the purpose of learning, of studying, and to look at the Torah, of course, and which the Torah also gives you a way of life how to act. So this was Ben Bagbag. Ben Hey, the next one, he said one sentence. Sorry. One sentence. Ben Hey Omer, Lefum Tzara Agra. The translation is, according to the pains taken, is the reward. So one has to see it as a continuation to the previous Mishnah. As I said, especially if it was the same person would continue to say, we said, Aforba, you should continue to get involved more and learn and repeat, because now it says, don't take it. It takes, you need to have an effort, mamatz. It may be painful to put so much effort in going over again and again. Lefum Tzara Agra, you are being rewarded by Hashem, by God, according to the effort and the pain which comes in your work to do things, to study or act and so on. But one of the commentators says, we actually don't have, the Torah doesn't give us for each mitzvah what is the reward. We got a lot of the Torah punishments for sins. It said, Lefum Tzara Agra, you can learn from the punishment for doing the wrong things. You can get to understand the reward if you do the good things. So we understand it this way, Lefum Tzara, learn from the pain and the punishment, learn about how great can be the reward. Now there is a lot of emphasis about efforts, not about the results. Somebody, let's say, hasn't got much of, he's not very brainy. And he think to himself, what am I going to waste my time to learn, to study? In any case, my possible understanding is limited. So he says, Lefum Tzara Agra, what counts, not the end, the consequences, how much you achieved in the learning. What counts, the effort that you make in learning, and everybody according to his abilities, which I think is something very, very important and encouragement, that everybody has got a possibility to get what we say in our davening, "V'ten chelkeinu b'toratecha." We ask God to give us a share, chelkeinu, our share in your Torah. Everybody has got different share according to what his ability. So if a person, his ability is not a genius, he doesn't think, he should not feel that there is no any benefit to go and put the effort. It takes him a lot of time, a lot of effort. So he comes here, and according to this understanding, it doesn't mean what you achieve at the end. It rather depends how much effort you put in it. And on the other end, even a person that he has got high abilities and he can just catch things quickly, so no, you should use your abilities to go deeper and put an effort. There is something which I found very interesting. The word lefum, which in the ordinary Aramaic, talking according, one commentator said lefum means the mouth. The mouth can bring you pain, tzara. Lefum tzara depends on your mouth, which can cause you pain, or agra, or reward. Depends what you're using your mouth for. If you use your mouth for study, daven, then you use it in a right way, comes a reward. But the same mouth can be misused. Loshnore, all other bad things that comes from the mouth, this is tzara, then it can cause you pain. So what he said, there is another statement, Chaim u'mavet b'yad harashon. Chaim u'mavet b'yad. Life and death can happen in your tongue. Depends how you use your tongue. Your tongue can be used properly, chaim, which brings life, good things, or unfortunately, it can be causing death. As I said, bad speech, bad things. This is, so I found it very interesting. I never saw it understood this in this way, to use the word lefum from the words peh. And I just thought today, maybe the the fact that Ben Bagbag, Ben whether they were one person or two, but since everybody thinks that they were converts, and this is why, according to some, that they use the Aramaic language because they were more brought up in this language, or also they wanted to be applicable and understood for the society where they come from. So maybe they, being converts, they understood how the reward is managed or reached by effort. I just thought that maybe they were talking on their life that to be converted is not easy for somebody that was not born Jewish and want to be Jewish. There was so much that is expected and demanded for the person to be converted. So it looks maybe they are like talking about themselves that they appreciate the effort that they made in order to be Jewish, and they realize the reward, it be the reward that they themselves feel the satisfaction by adopting a Jewish way of life to be converted. And this is to encourage their associates to say, look, it's difficult, it's not easy, but it's worthwhile. There is, at the end, there is the reward which you will get, can be, as I said, the reward can be which you get from God. He rewards you what you do. Or a person himself feel the achievement. This himself gets make him happy and satisfied because of the investment in preparing himself to become Jewish. But this can be applicable to any way of life of Torah and mitzvot. It's not easy to be Jewish, not easy to do whatever is expected of us from God, and as more pain or difficulties you go through, you should always have in mind it's worthwhile because the reward is being uh, paid according to the effort that a person puts into it. I think this is sorry. הלא, אני לא יכול לדבר עכשיו, אני אצטט. So, my dear friends, this actually brings us to the end of the five chapters of Pirkei Avot. There is another chapter which is called the sixth chapter, which you don't find it, not in every publication, because this is not a Mishnah. The sixth chapter is not a Mishnah. The Mishnah which was edited by Rabbi Yehuda Nasi, Rabbi Yehuda the Prince, and, it's not a Mishnah. This is what's called a Braita. Means very lot of Tanaic texts which didn't go into the Mishnah, but later on it was added to the Mishnayot. And there today, when you have the Pirkei Avot, if you take the Siddur and you see Pirkei Avot, you'll find also the Mishnah, the Perek, the sixth chapter. But it's for instance, in English, I don't know if you have an English translation of the sixth chapter, except if you've got like Art Scroll Siddur, there you'll have English translation. But there are some addition of commentaries which finish Pirkei Avot and the end of fifth chapter, which we made today the end of it.
Rav, what does Baraita actually mean?
Sorry?
What does the word Baraita actually mean?
Right?
Baraita. You said
Braita-
it's not a Mishnah, it's a Baraita.
Braita is external, something extra which not were put into the collection of the Mishnayot. There are a lot of text from the time of the Tanaim. You must understand how the Mishnah was originally. We know all the Torah Shebal Peh, all the oral law, which is not in the Torah. The Torah is Torah Shebichtav, the written law. Then was what the learning and so on was discussions and teachings that were actually given orally. And there was a big question, are you allowed at all to write down the oral law? But when our Tanaim realized that if you are not going to write it, then people are not able to keep it memory and so on. So therefore, they made, actually breaking, so to speak, the law by saying, Torah shebichtav, the Torah bichtav has to be written. And this is why we have got a Sefer Torah and so on. The oral law, it's a Torah, and the Gemara says, Parim shebi'al peh, something orally, you're not allowed actually to put it in writing. But they broke this kind of a principle, realizing that if they're not going to write it, they're going to be lost. So it was just an extra thing to do. Now, where a lot of text of this learning and discussions and the opinions until Rabbi Yehuda Nasi, Rabbi Yehuda, the prince, I don't know if they called him in English, I think Rabbi Yehuda the prince, he chose from all this text and made it into a collection of the Mishnah. Then came, after the Mishnah, all discussions around the Mishnah, which is the Gemara. And the Gemara also was not written. It was done orally until the later stage. And Bavel, Talmud Bavli, that they put all this discussion into the Gemara, and this is what we are learning in the Gemara. And there is a Talmud Bavli, what was written, compiled in Bavel, based on the Mishnah. Now, the Mishnah is the basis. The explanations and discussion, which based on the Mishnayot, is in the Gemara, and those academies in Eretz Israel, which also there is the Gemara, Talmud Yerushalmi, the Yerushalmi Talmud, which usually we don't really learn much of that because it's a very, very difficult language, and the whole thing is very not easy. And then the Talmud Bavli, this is the Gemara that we are learning usually, is what was compiled by the Amoraim in Bavel. And then, but there are a lot of other texts which from ancient times, which are not in the Mishnah. Some of them, there is a Braita, there is Tosefta, there is one different kind of collections that was originally done by different academies, different yeshivot in Bavel or in Yerushalayim. And it never stopped, obviously. The learning continues. Now you've got commentators with different generation, Rishonim and Achronim, and Baruch Hashem, Torah never stops to produce and work out on this base. This is what the base is. So I think I must tell you that I did manage to, if you have, find out if you've got a text for the 6th chapter, even if you've got it in the Siddur with the English translation, then if you wish, we can continue with that. Otherwise, if you've got any other suggestion, I don't know, let's
Harav, it's in the Art Scroll Siddur, and most of us have an Art Scroll Siddur. So I think we should continue with chapter 6 because it's there available.
Okay.
And we can learn a lot from that.
Although that I must say, there are not many commentaries that you find on this, but yes, it's obviously a lot more to learn there. So if you've got the text, so Mirza Hashem will continue with the 6th chapter. I don't know if were you happy to continue with Pirkei Avot? Is it okay with you?
Yeah, it's fine with us. Sure. Yeah. We wish you a refuah shlema, Rav, and that your health should improve enormously.
Yeah.
Wish you a refuah shlema.
And now you are the one that you.
Yeah, I'm in the wars again. I've got to go back into the hospital tomorrow.
For checkup.
Because they're a bit worried about the kidney function. So they want to do more tests. So I'm going in tomorrow again. How long I'm going to be there, I don't know. But
how do you feel?
Yeah, not too bad, but they're worried about that. And they want to get to the cause. Why is it not improving? Because the infection is more or less over. So
okay, I hope that he will find you okay, and otherwise we should have, and we must pray for what, first of all, we dedicate the shiur for Yaakov, Zichrono Livracha, blessed memory, and learning